Welcome. This is a video about the selecting tools in VWXLight. They are mainly used for preparation of a 3D face scan for the cut conversion. So we open the program VWXLight. We open a 3D face scan file. Now we can rotate the image by pushing down the left mouse button and then moving the mouse. We can change the zoom by turning on the mouse wheel, and we can pan the view by pushing down the mouse wheel and then moving the mouse. Now what we want to do is we want to clean out the file and choose a cutout of the file for the cut conversion. So first what we do is we reset the view to XY, and now you basically have different selecting methods. You have rectangular, which looks like this. Always you have to hold down the control key in order to start the selecting, and then with the left mouse button hold down, and you can drag a box, for example like this. Then you have the ellipse shaped selecting, and you have the lasso shaped selecting. By the way, deselection of a selection is always done with the escape button, and the changement of the selecting method is done by clicking on this button over here. If you want to drag a box from the center or do a selection from the center of the image, you do it by pressing the center button, and then if you drag, it becomes dragged by the center. This is just a different option. Okay, so what I do now is I'll select a portion of the image which I want to use later on, and I now have to invert the selection because I want to keep what is selected and delete what's not selected. So inverting works by pressing the position 1 key on your keyboard. On English keyboards it's the home button. This inverts the selection, and now I can press the delete key on the keyboard and delete the selection, or I can just simply press the delete key over here, or I can do undo in order to undo the last step, but in this case I want to keep it. So now what we have to do is we also have to clean out the image. So I changed the viewing direction. By the way, this yellow box around is the bounding box. It shows the outer boundaries of the image. That means that on these yellow lines the outer points are located. That means that somewhere in this region here is a point. You can't see it quite clearly because the points over here are quite dark. So to have a better view on the floating points, what you do is you'll switch on white points. This just turns the points into white ones, and therefore you can see them better. This is just a method to better see them. It's not changing the image by any means. So you can also change the size of the points by pressing P plus or P minus. Again, this is just for viewing purposes, and it's not changing the appearance of the image. So now you can see here is a point which is the outer boundary of the image. So what I'll do now is I'll just select the floating points and delete them because I don't want to have them in the image. I delete. Sometimes you have to zoom in a bit to better select a file, a point. There we go. Also don't forget to turn around the image to all sides to see hidden points. Okay, what's also important, you can reset the point size by clicking on 1 to normal, then the image looks normal again. What's also important for selecting is that, for example, if I rotate the image a bit to the side, I'll just switch off the bounding box for a moment, and I'll select something on the cheek over here. What will happen is that he also selects all points which are now on the z-axis. That means also, well, in this case, I didn't turn the image correctly, so I'll just do a deselection. Now we can see it better. He also selects the points on the other side. In order to avoid that, what you have to do is you'll have to switch on quadrants. That means you only see portion of the image. You do that with these 4 buttons over here. So, for example, the upper left quadrant I can turn on, and I only see the upper left quadrant. So now if I do a selection, and I switch on all quadrants again, you see the image is only selected on this cheek and not on the other one as well. So this is a helpful tool to avoid selection of unwanted areas. Okay, basically now the image is clean and I have chosen the cutout. So what I can do is now I can use it for the CAD conversion. Of course, don't forget to save it as a 3DC file first in order to have the changements to your file saved. And if you want to convert the file to a different CAD size, then you don't have to do all editing again. Alright, that's it.